All right, hello. This is a very different layout than we're used to. Um, welcome. We are currently um, doing our Pokemon BGC Premier Challenge number, or the first one of 419. Um, so I have been struggling getting everything running, um, but we're gonna get things going. We're currently finishing up our second round of Swiss. I'm going to try to get a match onto stream as soon as round three starts. Um, Technical difficulties, buffering out the kinks, all that good stuff. But I have all my team sheets here, so I'm going to use those as reference for whoever's on stream. And anyone who has a buy, I'm going to try to see if I can invite onto cast and everything like that. But hopefully, we can get everything done. Um, I do not have the best intermission for this, I will say. Um, but we're going to figure it out. We're going to get it all done today. But as soon as I see everyone kind of finish up round two, we're going to get everything going. So um, we'll be back. Until then, I'm going to mute everything and put on intermission. And we're going to get things going soon. So stay tuned.
gonna tweet everything out. All right, everybody, welcome to the premiere challenge here at Collector's Emporium. We are in round 3 of the event. Had a little bit of a slow start to the stream, but we're here now. We're here to see the high-level gameplay. So first match we got going on for you guys today is Chuppa Cross versus Anthony Sun, two very good local players. Everybody knows Chuppa, everyone knows Anthony. Looks like this is a pretty standard-looking matchup. From Regulation F, we have the Tinglu Dondozo team that Chuppa has been playing very often. And hold on one moment. Actually, I don't want to give away too much. It looks like I am very close to the actual match setup. So we'll wait till they're actually in preview to discuss the specifics of the teams. They are exchanging sheets now, so we should be good. So as I said, Chuppa is playing the Tinglu Dondozo strategy that him and his group have popularized in this format. Looks like it is very similar to his London team. I'm not sure if he was running Loaded Dice Dragonite with the Scale Shot then, or if he was on Assault Fest, but now he's on the Loaded Dice, which is a more exciting, interesting set. And Anthony is on what looks to be a very standard Calm Mind Raging Bolt balance until he got onto that last Pokemon, and there is a Belly Drum Chestnut. We are starting with some interesting guys today. Looks like both players are sussing out the team sheet, not too sure what to start with yet. I don't know how to play the Tinglu Dozo team very well, so we're just gonna ooh and ah until Chuppa does something. It looks like he is interested in that Gouging Fire mode. Isn't particularly interested in Tinglu Dozo. Makes a lot of sense when you are playing against a setup style team like Chestnut, who can just boost its way through your bulky Pokemon. So at that point you want to get more offensive. And this is a best of 1 PC, in case anybody was unsure how that is going to go. So we are only going to be playing one game this round, so one mistake and we are in trouble for either player. Makes things a little more tense. Looks like Chuppa is really thinking about that last Pokemon. Unsure, and he's going to lock in the Choice Specs Golden Go as that last slot. And here we go, right into game number 1. Setup strategy with the Rillaboom and Chestnut. Likely the reason that Chuppa went for his Dragonite lead here was so that he would not be able to, Anthony would not be able to get up the Belly Drum for free with that inner focus, preventing Rillaboom from disrupting Chuppa's damage. That being said, Chuppa does not have a flying type move on his Dragonite, so it is unlikely he is pressuring a knockout on either Pokemon right away, unless he is given this Howl for free. But chip damage into extreme speed would be a pretty convincing way to prevent Anthony from getting his Chestnut going. Whereas Anthony here is likely that he just wants to try as hard as he can to get that Chestnut set up. He's committed to going for the early terrestrialization on Anthony's side. Who is it going to be? And it is that Rillaboom. That's like to the Fire type. This makes me think he is not going to be going. He may be doing this to prevent a burn on a fake out, or burning bulwark on the Gouging Fire, or to prevent more damage. It looks like that is exactly the idea. With that flinch, Chuppa's going to be doing significantly less damage. They will with that Howl, and it is a Scale Shot right with that Chestnut. Looks like it might do about half, maybe a little bit more if he gets that 5 roll. Thanks to the item Loaded Dice, we are guaranteed looks like he is getting that fifth hit. That chestnut is brought down very low. He gets that spray recovery and then belly drum. Now the interesting thing here is both of Chubba's Pokemon here are 4 times resistant to grass, which means that the Grassy Glide +6 strategy that belly drum just not generally goes for will be not as nearly as effective as it normally is, especially since we will have that extreme speed coming out of Dragonite. And at this point, the situation is interesting here. Looks like Chubba may just be going to get as much as offensive pressure on the field as possible. Again, if Chubba can handle this Chestnut cleanly, the Rillaboom is not offering too much offensive pressure here because it's said he contains only grass and bug-back attacks, making it significantly more difficult for him to deal damage to either of these Pokemon on the field. So Chubba has room to think about what will happen after these 2 Pokemon are gone. He's immediately pressured as long as he can deal with this Chestnut cleanly. So he's locking an Iron Head here. The Rillaboom is switching out, knowing it cannot do too much to what we have on the field here. And to a Chin Pow. Looks like Anthony is trying to go for as much damage as possible with this Grassy Glide. Just trying to get a reposition. We'll see what Chubba did. A breaking swipe here would punish this move, but he's just going for the Howl, as we saw, to put lots and lots of pressure on. At this point, with the Howl and the Chin Pow boost, there is no Ghost type on Anthony's team, so Dragonite Extreme Speed is a very powerful pin. Especially since Chubba has the Steel Terrestrialization type on his Dragonite, which means it is a little bit of a gamble for Anthony to go for what would otherwise be a very free Ice Cold Crash in that slot. Chubba is very cleanly in the driver's seat here. He has the one that is dealing damage, he's the one that has pressure, and it is going to be up to Anthony to try to reposition and see if he can get this board state with more likes than he wants to see. Considering a more defensive play on his Dragonite this turn, but it looks like he is not sure. I think he is. Going to double up into the Chin Pow, right at the protect. This is the kind of thing that Anthony needs to see if he can't swing it back into his favor. It's all going to come down to what this Chestnut does. Looks like the Chestnut's going for the Drain Punch. Oh, my mistake. I thought Chubba had locked into a move into the... but that Scarlet is going to take out the Chestnut. This does give a little bit of tempo on the field for Anthony, giving him that free switch, whereas that slot was otherwise pretty pinned. Couldn't afford to take a lot of damage on that slot earlier. But at this point, the Dragonite's at +2 speed. It is at +1 attack. The only thing really pressuring it is that Chin Pow. Just trying to pressure here, wants to make sure that the Chin Pow can't preserve his Focus Sash for a long game. Now that Anthony has burnt his Terra and Protect, it's fairly safe to go after that Chin Pow. No threat of Terra Ghost stopping an extreme speed here. It looks like I'm going to play it a little more safely. Go for that, with that Protect. Again, neither of these Pokemon put too much pressure onto the... And it does look like he went for the Sucker Punch there into the Dragonite. I guess Griffith's anticipating a Scale Shot or an Iron Head, but not much happening for either player that turn. Just knowing that it is unlikely, just that Anthony knows now it is unlikely that the Dragon will be able to protect next turn. Chubba still with so many resources, very little damage on any of his Pokemon. He has really forced Anthony to be on the back foot this entire game, making sure that he has no time to provoke offensive pressure. He's too busy trying to answer what Chubba's doing on the field. Looks like Dragonite went for an extreme speed into that slot, gonna get right to that Protect, and let us see what the and just a double up into that slot. It's going to come down to what this Rillaboom's doing here. It could, or this Incineroar could go for a parting shot here, knock off into the Dragonite, and we have at -2 defense with the Scale Shot and the Sword of Ruin. That is going to take that Pokemon out in one hit. Progressing during his Gama, that Rillaboom is still in the back with its Terra Fire, and it's going to be interesting to see how Chuppa adapts here. Position, I would imagine he's either going to go into the Chinpao or the Golden Go. I know how that sounds, but if he goes into the Golden Go, it is likely that he would expend his Terra Fairy to make it more difficult for it to be removed. Terra Fairy Golden Go make main plus Breaking Spike is extremely efficient here, but he's going into the Chinpao instead. Now, the Chinpao is the Stellar Terra type, which means even if Anthony starts to get some Intimidate drops on it, it has a way to make sure it can stay on this field in the face of any kind of defensive tools. Looks like the Chuppa is thinking about that Breaking Swipe there. That would bring Focus Sash, that would mitigate damage on his Chinpao. He does need to be aware of the fact that Anthony Chinpao does have Sacred Sword, which would very, very cleanly put Chinpao under his Focus Sash. He is opting, he is considering that Stellar Terra. Going into the Incineroar, this Stellar Terra would cover for a few of these when you just get him used. Pretty different. Is going to be into that Terra Fire Rillaboom, so the game. This is resetting a Fake Out pressure for Anthony's side of the field. Breaking the Swipe out, made a parting shot for the Chinpao here to try to reposition. Put Fake Out pressure, priority pressure, and that Sword of Ruin back on the field while taking that Focus Sash. Sacred Sword not going to do very much. And there is main player mid going straight for the complex pressure. If a burn here would be huge, but he does not get it. Now Chuppa needs to be very cognizant of this Rillaboom on the field. It is pressuring to remove the Chinpao right away with a Grassy Glide or a Fake Out. So it is likely that Chuppa is going to go for a Protect or a switch in that slot this turn unless he wants to get aggressive. Looks like Chuppa is opting for a Breaking Swipe here. It's very safe play. Safe neutral play. Chuppa looks like he may be considering switching to Golden Go, but that was Golden Go at risk by a Flare Blitz from that. So, it looks like he is opting for that switch at -2 from these two Breaking Swipes, and considering Golden Go's normal bulk, the Flare Blitz with an on-off shouldn't be too bad for it. Press one for that slot, though, doing minimal damage. Will be recovered hard by that Grassy Terrain. Breaking Swipe goes down, putting both Pokemon below half. This Incineroar is currently holding the safety goggles, so essentially has no item. There's a parting shot to bring back into Chinpao, trying to put as much pressure on Chuppa's side of the field as possible. Still intact, but Chuppa's been doing such a wonderful job of making sure there are turns where he is getting some amount of damage on the field and mitigating the amount of pressure that Anthony can put down, while Anthony tries to reposition from that early start. He is starting to pick up a lot of ground. Chuppa's Pokemon are being pressured every turn. The Chinpao is down to Focus Sash, and many of his Pokemon put a lot of pressure onto this Golden Go. Looks like Chuppa's finally going for that Terrestrialization that he preserved so well, going for the Fairy Terra, which is Golden Go, to go for a Dazzling Gleam. Just the most consistent strategy they can go for. He was going for Make It Rain, and it was a Protected Incineroar. Then he would be mitigating his damage for the rest of the game. He's not going to have time to reset that damage with the pace this game has been going. Grassy Glide doing a little bit more damage now that Chuppa has Terrestrialized out of his Terra type. Or out of his resistance, I should say. And will this Terra Fairy Choice Specs Dazzling Gleam pick up this Assault Vest Rillaboom? I would imagine it does. It does. that little boom from the field. At this point, Anthony's on his last two Pokemon. His Chinpao with Assassin his attack, and his Incineroar with about 40% HP. Here, maybe just be going for a Protect Switch to the Chinpao to reset the board, get rid of that Fake Out, which will be the last time Andy has a chance to Fake Out this game. He's considering, or he's wondering if he wants to do that, or if he wants to go right into the, just go for the attack. At this point, the Chinpao, or at this point, it looks like that is exactly what Trevor is doing. He's saying this Chinpao will outlive its usefulness at this point in having a healthy Fairy Golden Go plus a healthy Gouging Fire is how he's going to try to win this game. Burning Bulwark comes out, keeping it safe from any kind of non-status move. And there is a crash going right into the Gouging Fire. And Choppa actually gets to keep his Chinpao here, meaning he can provide a little bit extra pressure, and giving Choppa another turn to mitigate damage with Breaking Swipe before Golden Go comes back onto the field. There was one turn of press turn left, so there's not a chance for either player to use that too much to their advantage, given the numbers these Pokemon are well. That Choppa is hovering over Howl, considering that as an option, but Breaking Swipe looks to be what he's going for. Breaking Swipe, Secret Sword or Protect is what I would imagine here. Chinpao has a very hard time dealing with Golden Go, with Fairy Golden Go, or Gouging Fire -1. Both looks like he's going hard for that Sucker Punch to stop Choppa from getting too much damage down the board. But that Breaking Swipe is going to break Focus Sash, do a good amount of damage to that Incineroar, and just mitigate Anthony's damage for the rest of the game. At this point, there's no more switching available to Anthony, so any stat drop are going to stay on the field. Because it's the last turn of grass and terrain, Chinpao will not be able to protect to regain its Focus Sash. That is not an option that Anthony has. So we are really down to just, if he can do enough damage to remove Choppa's last two Pokemon. Choppa's done an excellent job preserving his win condition and keeping this Gouging Fire safe for the endgame. The Chinpao just trying to tempo Choppa out of the game, perhaps punish him for doubling into the slot, but Choppa is just going for 2 spread moves here. He knows as long as he gets damage on the field each turn, he'll win the trades. Does this Dazzling Gleam take out the Incineroar? I would imagine so, but I'm not particularly familiar with Dazzling Gleam Golden Go calcs. Golden Go throwing out a happy little rainbow of lights and the pocket chain it's used to, and taking out that Incineroar. And from this point, it's really it is close unless Choppa starts accidentally clicking the wrong moves that don't do any damage. It's extremely unlikely for him to lose this game. So it looks like Anthony will lose this game to Choppa, bringing Choppa to 3-0, and Anthony to 2-1. Choppa. Yes, this is a best of 1 local event. Here, let's... Yes, this is a best of 1 event. We are... I imagine that was the last round going. There was one more round, and then I cut the top 4, where it will be best of 3. Thank everybody for watching. Looks like quite a few people just tuned in right as the game ended. But this is the Premier Challenge for Collectors Emporium in Levittown, New York. I'm Jacob Scraw, and I am commentating this tournament because I went 0-2. But that's all right. All right, so we're going to... So we will be back in just a little bit with round 4. Stay tuned. Thank Thank you for sticking around. All right, everybody, we're going to have our next match for you real soon. We have Vince, Piano and Valhalla. A lot of New York players know Vince, and Nicole, a newer player, but that's not stopping her from getting on the stream. So we're going to give it just a few minutes before we start discussing their teams because they're still getting set up, and I don't want to accidentally give anything away before team preview, but it is going to be an interesting match. Vince is why I'm commentating. He knocked me out. He beat me round 1, and then I could not recover. So Vince's team is interesting. It's going to be something a lot of you are familiar with, but not going to get into it just yet. If you're liking the stream, make sure to drop a follow, subscribe to these guys. I do not. I have no monetary gain in this. This is the first I've been to this game store, but we like to hear my own voice, so here we are. And we are looks like we are just getting set up here. Just really quick here. And it looks like they are looks like we are trying to Why is it not letting me post? I think I'm banned from Twitter. Well, nobody will know that I'm commentating this, but I'll know, and that's all I need. Looks like we're having a little bit of a technical issue here while we're getting everything set up, but we will be starting very, very soon. Looks like we're just getting some little extra hardware set up so everybody has their Switches charging. Entertain us. I don't have Mario. Not Mario. I don't have Pokemon Stadium on me. I don't have a dry erase board. I can do this. Whoa, how does he do that? Oh, that's what I got. But it looks like we are getting underway momentarily. Our players are sitting down. I do not know how to vamp. I barely know how to talk when the game is actually going on. But it looks good to go here momentarily. How many times can I say momentarily in a thing? And it looks like we are searching for the battle. Once again, this is Vince, Piano in Valhalla, a fairly well-known local player, and Nicole, who is, I believe this is her 3rd or 4th local, and she made it on stream. Pretty impressive for someone who is just getting into it. All right, let's get right into it. Looks like our players are going into team preview. All right, and as I had said, looks like we're seeing a pretty standard team from both players here. Vince is playing a team that was popularized by Pengy, a prominent streamer, a dang good player that he did very well with at EUIC. He had become the champion of Golden Go Clefairy quite a little while ago. And Nicole is playing what looks to be a fairly standard offensive balanced team. You know, we got our Flutter Mane, we got our Water Ogerpon, we got our Tornadus, and then we have our Instant and Amoonguss as a defensive core. There is no Raging Bolt on this team. There is something is not right. Oh, that says Nicholas. Instead of Nicole. I had the wrong team sheet in front of me. There we go. That is better. With Nicole. A slightly different team. Still going for that Assault Fist Raging Bolt on a more offensive team with Urshifu Single Strike. And a Nasty Plot, Golden Go, Incineroar, and Ogerpon Wellspring for when things need to go a little slower. Alright, we'll be watching this from Vince's point of view. Nicole is starting off with Incineroar and the Urshifu. Safe, standard lead, and so going for some offense from both players. Both players are pressuring Fake Out. This might come down to whose Incineroar is faster. Looks like Vince's Incin is in fact faster, or at least they are speed tying, which means that Nicole has to respect the option of Vince going for a Fake Out and a substitute here to get a lot of pressure going, or he might just go right on the offensive and try to remove that Incineroar right away. that Nicole's Incineroar is a grass Terra type, so that makes it a little riskier than you'd like. Very neutral position, neither player is really at an advantage here. It's not going to come down to how the players navigate this turn. Looks like Vince is opting for that fake-out substitute option, attempt to prevent Nicole from getting any real headway. Looks like Nicole's pivoting away her Incineroar, afraid of being hit by that Earth Power, and this is going to let Vince get a very free turn. That Urshifu will not be doing anything this turn, and that substitute will be going up for free. That being said, between Ogerpon and Urshifu, there was still a lot of pressure on Nicole's side of the field for next turn. Now we are back to the same spot we were. If Landorus leaves that Urshifu alone, it is likely to get hurt. That Ogerpon is likely faster than Landorus, depending on the way it is trained, but the standard will be faster. Vince considering a switch here. Interestingly, Vince's Ogerpon using Sword Stance. I guess go with that Clefairy that Mabel set up so well. It's supposed to be more defensive. That looks like Vince is going right for the offense, going for the Earth Power, but he's unsure to do this Incineroar. Opting to make a neutral play and swap into that Ogerpon and take an Ivy Cudgel from Nicole's side of the field, perhaps. Nicole is playing defensively, afraid of that Sludge Bomb, perhaps, from the Landorus. And there's an Earth Power going right into that Urshifu. This was trained a little differently, but it's likely to remove it, and it does. Vince now in a particularly promising position with that Landorus still behind the substitute and one of Nicole's strongest offensive Pokemon removed from the field. Interestingly, it is the case that Fake Out does not affect a Pokemon behind substitute, as you need to know, meaning that this Incineroar is actually not preventing Vince from going offensively here. Looks like Nicole's just going to Fake Out and try and break that substitute with Ivy Cudgel. We now have seen that the Ogerpon is in fact faster than the Landorus. Substitute gets broken, and a Sludge Bomb is going into that Ogerpon. And now, unless this is modest, it is unlikely that the Sludge Bomb will remove. Hefty Strong, and it does take it out. Either a very strong Landorus or a relatively frail Ogerpon. Golden Go is coming in here. It looks like Nicole has a Fairy Terra, but with only 2 Pokemon left, it's not looking great. Both these Pokemon are going to underspeed the Landorus, meaning that it's very free offensive pressure on this field. But it looks like he may be going for a more passive turn, going for that Sword Stance substitute here. Or perhaps opting a little chip damage on my Golden Go, a generally bulkier Pokemon. If it does Terra and gets for an Earth Power, it would not do very much, getting a guessing game out of the turn. Looks like we are going to see a chance that we're going to see exactly that, the very correct Golden Go, get it away from that Earth Power weakness. And we'll see what happens next. I'm expecting to make a change. Actually, it's not really room to be nasty plotting here. Ivy Cudgel does not very much damage. It's like about a little bit under a third to that Golden Go. It's getting that substitute back up, but if Cole went for a more aggressive turn here, which looks like he's going for that Shadow Ball, with the amount of HP that this Landorus has left, a Flare Blitz may do it, depending on how strong this Incineroar is. And it does remove the Landorus. Vince going for a more passive turn and being a little bit punished for it, but he's far enough ahead that it shouldn't be too much problem. Continuing into our zone, mitigating damage, and putting Fake Out pressure back on the board. Now that the Golden Go has Terra, it's going to freely launch Water Ivy Cudgels into that Incineroar on Nicole's side of the field. So I would expect to Fake Out on the Golden Go and an Ivy Cudgel here, removing the Incineroar and leaving Golden Go stuck in a 3v1. But looks like he might just be going for a Sword Stance. The Ogerpon is -1, so we maybe want to get rid of that. It's the Intimidate drop there. Or let's go for the Terra Water. Terra Water and Sword Stance. Unsure what the idea is here. Perhaps to avoid potentially letting the Let's crit into the Ogre Pawn, being able to knock it out. Then once again, we see next bit of Water Terror. Interestingly, it appears both players have had an advantage in these two games so far, have been the play that preserved their Terra for later in the game, giving them more options, forcing their opponents to cover for more possibilities. And from here, it's looking pretty strong for Vince. A fake out into that Golden Ghost, stopping it from moving. Perhaps a fake out or a Flare Blitz burn on that Incineroar may do something, but even if that doesn't occur, the parting shot, bringing this Ogre Pawn back to neutral. But a neutral Ogre Pawn in Terra is more than enough to remove an Incineroar. And with the only moves on this Golden Go that deal damage, make it into Shadow Ball, it is exceedingly difficult for it to deal any damage to Vince's Incineroar. Ivy Tunnel comes out, removing Incineroar from the field. Shadow Ball, dealing out, imagine, under 30%. Exceptionally low, and at this point, this Golden Go really does not have a way to defeat either of the Pokemon Vince has in the field, meaning Vince will take this match and put another win towards the top 4 of this tournament. A great game to both of our players. All right, so we're going to take, looks like we have a little bit of time before we start our top 4. Those matches will be best of 3. And those matches will be best of 3, and we will be back with that soon. Stick around, and like I said, if you're liking what we're doing so far, don't forget to this isn't YouTube for once. Don't forget to follow and maybe subscribe to their channel. I'm sure it'd help them out a lot. We'll be back soon. All right, hello and welcome back. We are about to get started with our top four. We will be watching the match of Chipper Cross versus Adrian Hazel. I am going to get this all set up for us here. As soon as they get into team preview, we will be moving the camera over to the game. But for now, we are just chit-chatting here. We saw Chuppa's team last time, so we will be looking at the match from Adrian's point of view. Unfortunately, that Don fan on the Tickerton will not be making an appearance in this top four set. How many players? I believe there were 14 players tonight, which is a lot more than I expected from a 6 p.m. event. What time is it? It's 8 o'clock. We blitzed through this event. You guys didn't need to hear the local Pokemon TCG local pairings, but wait, don't you live in New England? Get out of here. So let's see, our players are getting themselves situated. Oh, let me update our players here. Iron 8, Radiant, and Sheppa, Mr. the Fourth versus Mr. Hazel. I mean, Triple is already answered. I know what Sheppa's playing. So Adrian is playing what looks to be an extremely stock balanced team. I'm talking Incineroar, I'm talking Amoonguss, I'm talking Ogerpon. And then backing those up with a Choice Specs Fluttermane, a Terra Ghost Focus at Shinpao, and an Assault Vest Raging Bolt. So not much in the way of speed control. Actually, it looks like there is nothing in speed control here, because he is opting for Thunderclap, Dragomania, Thunderbolt, and Snarl on that Assault Vest Raging Bolt, that Thunderbolt where a lot of players opt for Electro Web. So he is relying on redirection with the Amoonguss and the Ogerpon, double redirection plus Choice Specs Fluttermane, a very potent strategy. Fake out pressure and just priority in the form of that Sucker Punch, that Thunderclap, and that Fake Out. And the natural speed of Pokemon like Shinpao and Fluttermane to make sure that he's moving first. Where's the local? It's on Long Island, Lucy. It's in Levittown. Alright, so we're reading the team preview, so let's get into it. So as we saw earlier today, Choppa is on that Tinglu Dondozo strategy that he has been championing for the last month or so of this format. Adrian, NASA locals. There have been several NASA locals, thanks to Tom. Tom Hayden has been kind of lobbying for VGC at local game shows across Long Island, so that's why events like this and the event that occurred on Monday in whatever town that was. Then back to Long Island. Oh, we got events now. Tom has got us going. There's a mid-season on the 25th on the island. There's a I think is out in Suffolk. You know, it's funny you say that. I'm out in eastern Suffolk, so to me it feels like it's far away. But in the match, I think Adrian is considering going for that Fluttermane and Incineroar combo there, just to make sure that he can put a lot of pressure on early while denying and Choppa the ability to put too much on himself, going for that Wellspring Ogerpon, does well with several Tempest Pokemon, and as we mentioned before, the Follow Me, Choice Specs, Fluttermane strategy is extremely good at dealing with more defensive teams that are more slow, more taking a while to set up. And we are getting into this game one, like I said, because we are now in top four. We are playing proper best of 3 matches, no more best of 1. So these players are going to pay very close attention to what their opponents do and how they can adapt going into games 2 and 3. So it looks like we are going for that Tinglu Dozo combo, Fluttermane, and Incineroar. Now this is an Oblivious Dondozo, which means that Intimidate will not be affecting it, but it is likely to get the parting shot. Mike's a little low. I have no idea what this setup is. Better than the setup the store had. I'm not going to touch anything, so I'll just start screaming. Would that help? You're considering that early pivot here. The issue with this style of team against particularly Dozo is that Choppa has the option to go for that Santum Young combo to trap your more defensive pieces. Incineroar can escape it naturally thanks to its parting shot, so any other pivot here may be trapped in. Looks like we're switching out that Flutter Mane here, going for, I believe that is Water Overpond. It is likely to eat up a potential Wave Crash from that Dozo, because Wave Crash is a lot of damage. And like so the Flutter Mane was not actually pressuring to knock out either. Determination to get solid chip damage, knocking that over from down to half of its HP, and that heavy slam, and that is a lot of damage off of that Ogre Pond. Was essentially free. We are in an awkward position here. We're going to he is not just letting this team do and do whatever they want each turn. But he also needs to take and fall into that classic Sand Tune Eon trap. So he's going for that Spore on the Tinglu. Choppa's Tinglu is a variant without taunt, which makes it just much more potent into the strategy than would be otherwise. Spiky Shield off the Ogre Button, making sure he stays safe for this turn. And looks like it was a good option. Oh, looks like a Santum whiffed on the Amoonguss there, and a Yawn into it, meaning that Amoonguss will likely not want to stay in next turn. But thanks to that Santum miss, he will have the option to take it out. This Tinglu, however, will not have that option, as it is going to bed. Still in an awkward position here. That Tinglu has gone to sleep, but just like we saw last game, Choppa has done an excellent job of making sure his opponent does not have an easy position to actually do damage. They need to react to what Choppa is doing rather than to advance their own game plan. And it appears that, I believe I saw a Spore go into that Tinglu slot, so Adrian is reading that Choppa will not let that Tinglu on the field, and it looks like he was right. When this switch in, I don't believe there are any natural Storm injuries on Choppa's team. We'll go with Dragonite in. Dragonite will be going to bed. This is an excellent switch. Is that a critical hit? A critical hit there, meaning that Dragonite is taking a lot of damage and going right to bed. All exchanged for the Amoonguss to going to sleep. Oh, that was a Sludge Bomb mistake, so a little less quick, but that is still an absurd amount of damage on that Dragonite. But this position is with that. The Amoonguss slot essentially did, now that it's at its 0 turn sleep and extreme speed pressuring this Ogre Pond. That was a Spore, it would have been a little more even. We can get through his options here, trying to get some damage down on the Dozo. Possible is then just to chip everything into range of the Flutter Mane in the end game, because he does have that choice specs Flutter Mane to preserve the full HP in the back. Swooping on the Amoonguss. Ivy comes down, and we get another critical hit on the Dragonite, and it lives on just a sliver. That Scale Shot. At least maybe I can mess around just a little bit. Hopefully that makes things a little better. Scale Shot doing enough damage to the Amoonguss that it looks like it should be taken out next turn. Oh, that was a 5 hit, so it might be a little high variance. This Dragonite living on such a sliver that it looks that any damage is going to be pressuring it. However, thanks to Scale Shot's passive effect of increasing its speed by 1, there is nothing pressuring this Dragonite this turn because Scale Shot is not a contact move. So Scale Shot into the Ogre Pond slot is close to free. With of course, the potential of the sleep on the Amoonguss expiring and getting a Sludge Bomb into that position. Looks like Adrian is going to respond to that slot, hoping that the attacks into the Ogre Pawn are too tempting, and that if he gets that sleep, the wake up, the Ogre Pawn, or the Wizard will go down. And looks like this scale shot is going to just let the Amoonguss hold on. It's going to come down to what this Dondozo is doing. This Dragonite at such low HP and -2 defense, if somebody looks at the 2-part, it will faint. So I guess start staring if you're rooting for Adrian. Amoonguss goes down, and here's where things start to get interesting. The Ogre Pawn has fallen asleep thanks to that Dondozo's yawn. And Choppa brings in the Incineroar. Now, normally in this spot, the Fake Out would put a lot of pressure on this Dragonite, but thanks to Dragonite's item choice, which in this case is the loaded dice, Choppa actually has access to Protect on that Pokemon, an option you don't generally see on Dragonite. And this Ogre Pawn is on its first turn of sleep, meaning that it is exceptionally likely that there will be a Protect and Wave Crash into that Incineroar. That Incineroar is going to drop to extremely low HP, and it's Figgy Berry. Yep. This Dragonite is now blisteringly fast, and both of Adrian's Pokemon are in a position where Choppa is either outpacing or outbulking them. This has been a theme we've seen out of Choppa this weekend. This tournament, the last hour and a half. Looking like we're going for the Ghost Terrestrialization on the Incineroar, hoping to catch an Extreme Speed into that slot. But honestly, with the speed boosts Choppa has, there's no reason to go for that priority move. At this point, -2 defense, -6 defense, it will be the same. Scale shot into that Ogre Pawn will remove it from the field. Just barely enough damage, despite how bulky that Dragonite currently is to remove it from the field. It's going to come down to what this Dondozo is going for. It looks rather close if Wave Crash is going to remove it, but I think it'll pick it up, and it lives in just barely a few points of HP. Depending on how these Pokemon are going to go, it looks like Adrian may get done what he needs to do, whittle down Pokemon just enough to deal with the but with this Gouging Fire in the back, it is going to outspeed the Fluttermane and make things a little more difficult than they would have been otherwise. To pick up this Incineroar, and we're going to see what this Fluttermane locked into here, because I looked away, so I literally don't know. We're going to find out together. Fluttermane locking into that Moonblast into Dondozo, and it does pick it up with that critical hit. Not sure if that critical hit mattered, but from this position, with just the Fluttermane against the world, this sleeping Tinglu will still provide a lot of utility, making the Gouging Fire more bulky. And 2 Heat Crashes should be more than enough to remove this Fluttermane. Heat Crash to a critical hit means we're not even going to even see what happens there. That picks up the Fluttermane and puts Choppa up 1 game to 0. How's the back row? I think that's part of the concern I had there. Alright, so now we are getting into game 2, and Chippa and Adrian, for the first time in this tournament, are going to get to adjust. Being able to adapt after a game 1 is a very important skill for players. It will Adrian figure out what went wrong and how to adjust, and if he does, will Chippa figure out the adjustment to adjust to Adrian's adjustment. I think both players had a solid game plan going into that game, and they took a few extra risks going for letting those sleep turns happen with Yawn, letting Chippa get a little extra room to maneuver the board the way he needed it to. Both players considering their options here. I would suspect Chippa will be going for that Tinglu Dondozo lead. Once again, though what Amungus Flutter Beam lead from Adrian would make that a little more difficult. Looks like Adrian going for a little bit of a more defensive option this time around, going for that Incineroar and that Amungus lead, attempting to put pressure on Chippa by pressuring sleep as opposed to pressuring immediate damage. And both players are locked in. It appears we are going to get right into this. Game 2, top 4 at the Emporium Left Town Premier Challenge. This is this store's first Premier Challenge, and we have great players like Adrian and Chippa in the top 4 already. So if you want to play against some of the best competition on Long Island, I would come down next time. Into the Amungus and the Incineroar. So there's a next time? I mean, I believe the plan is going to run an event each month. I don't have the date off the top of my head. Alright, so looks like we are going for some early pressure here. Both of Chippa's Pokemon here do have Protect, which means it's not super easy to fake out Spore, but of course, if Chippa does go for that double Protect, it may give Adrian to go for a free switch into one of his other Pokemon. Protect, and Adrian did not go for anything other than a fake out and a Spore. I think this will be a pretty neutral turn, Chippa losing the ability to protect both of his Pokemon in exchange for keeping himself safe from that Spore. We are back in a very neutral position because of Tinglu's Rocky Helmet, of course, they clear Amulet running. It is doing a little bit less damage. Well, actually, no, because Chippa does not have any physical. Is Sendu a physical move? I literally don't know if Sendu is a physical move. But thanks to Chippa's coordination body press, Timidity not actually prevent Tinglu from dealing too much damage. Still pressuring a lot. Adrian considering goes that Terra Ghost perhaps to get around exactly that, but both the Wave Crash and the Body Press and going for a knockoff into that Dondozo, and a Spore from Tinglu. Spore is fairly safe here, looks like. I believe that is Adrian's Terra on the Incineroar, going for Terra Ghost here. Knocking off that Dondozo to prevent it from getting Citrus Spray recovery down the line. Dealing not too much damage, but doing what he needs to make sure that recovery will not be there for pushing chips. And the second Santu miss of the game for Chippa. He is 0 for 2 in this set. Gone into Amungus is gonna be met by, I believe it was a Spore for the Tinglu. Everybody's sleepy on this battlefield. Looks like we are just trying to spread those knockoffs as much as we can, and this time around, like last game, Adrian will be opting to pivot out that Amungus, not letting it go to sleep. Amungus is pivoting out into that. Pivoting out into the Ogerpon, and we are just knocking off that Rocky Helmet on the Tinglu. What is the option from this Dondozo? This Tinglu with And reversing on Sleep Jump is just spamming Yawn. He's calling this time around. We are not going to be letting the people go to sleep, so we're just going to cover for it. And you can tell I've been up since 5 in the morning. The people. Doing a massive chunk of damage and a parting shot to pivot out of that Incineroar, I would imagine, into a Amoonguss. We're not going to want to risk putting our Bluttermane into this position. And going into that Amoonguss. The question is, what will this Dondozo do? What's the Dozo doing? And it's another Yawn right into that slot, once again putting into a position where if he wants to attack with that Amoonguss, it will be at the cost of falling asleep. Adrian's weighing his options, wondering if that turn of sleep is worthwhile. And it looks like he is going to be going for it. Spawn Ivy Cudgel, covering for a switch. Ooh! Just going for that Spore in case King Lu wakes up. And no switches on this field, and no wake up from that Ogerpon. We do get the wake up on the King Lu, and a ruination into that Ogerpon to cut its HP in half. What will Ting Lu do here? We're going for a Yawn to cover for if the Amoonguss switches, or was that into the Ogerpon? It would fail either way, so I actually don't know if we have a way to know. Huh, it's kind of funny. We've known that to happen before. And now Amoonguss is asleep. We are on a very, very sleepy field. The only person that had their coffee this morning is Dondozo. Particularly slow turn from both players, trying to burn sleep turns. I believe that the Ogerpon on the second turn is sleep, so there is a 2/3 chance of it waking up this turn, or maybe on the third turn. It's guaranteed to wake up here. So we are looking at a spot where this Dondozo is in a very volatile position. It looks like Chumpa is going to accept the 0 sleep turns on the Ting Lu, know that it won't be getting up later, get that Dragonite onto the field. We saw how devastating this Dragonite was last turn. We're going for the double switch. Who is switching into this attack? Meant for the Dondozo. It looks like that is his Gouging Fire that we now know his name. We've learned Chumpa's nicknames. He's been on stream too long. Oh, looks like Ogerpon wakes up, and that Hornleech, 4 times resisted, will do a pitiful amount of damage to that Gouging Fire. And REM, as it REM cycles, it burns through its first turn of sleep. Adrian, considering his options here, he doesn't have a great way to deal damage this turn, but he cannot afford to be passive either. As he saw what can happen if this Dragonite gets to get going with its many scale shots, making it into an extremely fast, extremely devastating Pokemon. Looks like we are just going to refresh rate this Fire and switching into Intimidate, or into Incineroar to Intimidate. Dragonite's undergrowth is getting around, and here comes the Howl to this thing into a devastating sweeper. Between Howl and Scale Shot, we are essentially building a Dragon Dance, and this Ivy Cudgel comes in and does respectable damage, less than half, so we are going to be seeing this guy around for a while. Looks like his Scale Shot doing so much damage with this Howl. May deal with this Incineroar, but thanks to its Wiki Berry, it will be holding on. I believe that was its third hit, and it does not look like 2 more hits of Scale Shot, even if we get that 5 hit, will be enough to remove Incineroar. So now, we've essentially built ourselves a Dragon Dance while also dealing massive, massive damage to Incineroar. That is the strength of the Howl Scale Shot combination on this team. And unlike last time, where there was a lot of pressure on this Dragonite, despite its speed and how low it was, here there was not a lot going on. Even at -1 defense, a Incineroar is not going to do too much to this Pokemon. And thanks to the Gouging Fire speed, it is a pin on the Pokemon who is extremely difficult for Weavers to attack this turn. Ouch. That hurt. Looks like Cheppa predicting that Fake Out, going for the Burning Bulwark here, and expecting both Pokemon burning that Fake Out. No reason not to in this position. I am unsure of the speed of Cheppa's Dragonite, but I imagine it is EV'd to outspeed Fluttermane after one Dragon Dance, given the fact that it has, or one Scale Shot that it has with Iron Head. Oh, I have this right in front of me. I'm not doing that now. It's not limited to the cheat. Again, Adrian goes for those attacks, but a Heat Crash Scale Shot means that we will likely be seeing both Adrian's Pokemon go down this turn to Cheppa's Gouging Fire and Dragonite. Heat Crash picking up that Incineroar, leaving with it's the Fluttermane and the Amoonguss in the bag. That Amoonguss is asleep. I do not recall how many sleep moves it has, so it is possible that Cheppa has the option here to just go for Iron Head and a Heat Crash to end this game this turn, but it will depend on if this Amoonguss can try and redirect that Iron Head and go for a devastating Surspec's Dazzling Gleam with that Fluttermane. So he's locking into the Moonblast here to try and take out the Gouging Fire, hoping or trusting that his Amoonguss will live through one attack. The Amoonguss is holding a Citrus Berry item, which makes it a little more likely that be the case. And here comes a Harass Collision from Cheppa, and it has been like the Steel Terror on the Dragonite. That it is. And we are seeing the Wake Up and the Rage Powder on this Amoonguss. Thanks to the 2 speed boosts for Pokemon moving here will be that Dragonite going for that +1 Terra Steel Iron hit to Amoonguss. Dealing good damage, just under half. Or just over half, I think. Citrus Berry picking up a little bit of HP for that Amoonguss, but it won't be enough to survive this +1 Heat Crash from this Gouging Fire. Once again, we've seen this position before with the Gouging Fire plus another Pokemon versus singular Fluttermane. And Moonblast is going to do a lot of damage. He will pick up the knockout, but with a +2 speed, +1 attack, Terra Steel, Iron Head on the other side of the field on this Dragonite, it is likely that this game is going to be will be to the finals of the Levittown Linear Challenge. And with that forfeit, is officially the case. Great game by both players. Again, Cheppa's strategy seems to be that his team really makes it difficult for an opposing team to do what they want to do. There we go. And with that, we will be seeing one of our finalists confirmed. I'm gonna take a sec back here and see if we have our other match going, so we can get that finals to you all. Again, congratulations to both Adrian and Chippa. They both played exceptionally well. So we'll be back in just a moment. All right, everybody. So we have our second finalist. Where did it go? There's Anthony, the player we saw on stream against Treppa earlier today. Unfortunately, it appears that Anthony will be conceding the finals before a match is before there is a match. He was just getting a little later than he anticipated, and we're going to wrap it up there. So, congratulations to Chuppa for winning the inaugural Collector's Emporium Premier Challenge. There will be more events soon, one more next month, and then, of course, when locals return after the end of the season. So make sure to stay tuned for that. Join the New York local VGC Discord, and bye. Yeah, no, that's what I did.